Hi everybody, Jill here. We are doing wig chat today. We're taking a look at a Belle Tress wig in a color I don't think I have ever tried. I could be wrong, but if I have, it was a long time ago. But I'm excited to try it out. It isn't as cool of a blonde as, say, Milkshake Blonde R or Shaded Biscuit in Raquel Welch, but it looks gorgeous. Now, this is going to be a fresh out of the box experience. First look. I did, kind of look at the color, but I have yet to just undo everything and get it on my head. So we'll see if we have to take a stab at any box hair that we have to deal with. And it's just going to be a realistic, real true experience with this, at least this particular style. So I hope you stick with me and we'll be back. All right, this is Chicago once again in Raw Sugar Blonde R. This is a Belle Tress style here. Okay, let's first do our regular, which is take a look at this cap. This is a completely new style for me. I've never tried this, and I'm really excited to give it a go, as well as take a look at this really pretty color. All right, so taking a first look at this cap, we have a left side monofilament part. That means that anywhere that you part in here, you're going to get realistic scalp right away. That is realism. It is really a nice feature. And these sort of monofilament parts, it does reduce the price versus, say, a full monofilament. So, it's always nice to have, even if it's just a part. Along with that, we have a temple to temple lace front. Gosh, Belle Tress has really gotten really good at their lace fronts. And a good lace front, of course, has to do with this material that they use, as well as the size of the fibers, sort of that knot that occurs based really on the size of the fibers, as well as how they decide to sort of incorporate different colors into that lacing. Because if you go just the dark, like what a rooting color would be down there, it can bring a little more attention to the knotting. So I do like, because I do wear blondes most of the time, I do like when they take sort of all those different colors that make up the gorgeous blonde right down to the root. But to be honest, really what denotes how much of that knotting you're going to see is the material that the knotting is going into, as well as the denier of each fiber. If it is a sort of a denier that's a little bit thicker, if you will, because fibers that are synthetic aren't round like human hair, they're actually flat. So we want a nice sort of denier where we're not looking at doll hair, where it's just too big, but we don't want it so fine that we're really dealing with flyaways all day. Even static electricity can occur to where it just gets stuck to the cap and it's really hard to deal with. So there's a nice fine line, sort of this middle ground that works really nicely. And brands like Jon Renau, Raquel Welch, Belle Tress, they have that figured out. So this is machine wefted. We have a good amount of stretch, but not overly, but we have a good amount of stretch here. So let's take a look at these ear tabs and the metal stays in here. So this is a really super soft felt material, as is the extended nape. And that's really crucial. Most of the time you're going to find this. The lesser expensive wigs, you may not find this material, but this really is night and day if you have not experienced the comfort. This does away with a lot of the itching that you can get right there, at the temples as well as in the nape area. So it is nice. The metal stays in Belle Tress wigs are nowhere near as firm as a Jon Renau. I would say Jon Renau makes the firmest, if that's a word, metal stays. However, I find that the material and construction of these tabs here on the side are as They just really don't require a real firm metal stay for them not to start flipping up on you. It's important if you wear glasses to know that these won't just flip up, and I've never had that happen with Belle Tress. Same in the back. We have vertical metal stays here in the nape, which I did not know for quite a long time when I was first wearing wigs. And it's nice to have because you can again pinch them and they will just sort of tuck here at the nape, and it's just a great feature that I had no idea I had. So yeah, don't forget to do that when you get these on. Again, they're not as firm as a John Renault metal stay back here, but there are 2 of them and they do the trick just fine. All right, I'm trying, as I have my fingers in here, I'm trying to feel sort of any permatease, and I'm really not feeling any. This material here that almost appears like perhaps we would, but I am not feeling any. Now I do want to say that this monofilament part goes back pretty dang far. It's also really generous, and because we have this beautiful lace front, you really have a lot of room here that you're going to have real scalp appearance, and you can fake a part going this way if it's messy, and then you deal with just the lace front and flip it over, because again, we do have this gorgeous lace front. So there is a way around that if you aren't one that likes to part your hair on the left. I'm lucky in that that's usually how I would wear my hair, would be a left side part. So it works for me. Let's flip this over and take a look at this color. I am filming this in front of a big window. However, it's very dark out. I mean, it's like you would think it was very late, and it isn't. So I'm not getting a whole lot of light from that window. So I do have a muted sort of round light here in front of me, and I try to dim it as much as I possibly can before it's awful and there's just no lighting whatsoever. So I hope you get a good feel as to this color, as best as I can give you anyway. It's beautiful. So I'm gonna get this on, and we'll talk about and kind of get a feel of this color, I think, better once I get it on my head. So let's do that. I did want to show you today, I know a lot of you are curious as to why I wear wigs, because it looks like I could get away with not doing that. I can't, guys, because I no longer can style my hair anymore. The place, where I have thinned the most is the front and all here. And while the rest of my hair is also very fine and you can see right through to my scalp, this is the worst of it. And it just sort of ends up going down to just nothing cotton candy. As you can see, this is me brushing it all forward. And, I don't even have enough hair to make really look like anything. I don't care what kind of product you try to use on this. It's just not going to happen. And then, if you do end up, it may be getting a style happening, I can bet you that the minute, that I go outside, it's gone. The minute there's even the littlest bit of rain and wind, it is just definitely gone. So yeah, it's just, there's just nothing left to really, there's just not a lot happening. So I know that because, really the only thing I can do these days is to comb it back and put it in a ponytail. But because I wear it like that so much, it gives the illusion, I think, that I have more hair here than I do. And I don't. So yeah. All right. So what I do is I just put this in a very low ponytail. I'm really excited to try this style. Then I just sort of clip it up. And what this little ponytail does for me, though, is it creates something for my wig to tuck under, because I have a very flat head in the back. And so my wigs kind of will just start riding up on me. And in the beginning of my journey of helper hair, I thought it was because the wigs were too small, but that wasn't the case. It's just I needed something to keep the wigs down from doing that. So all right. right. So if I knew I was going to be wearing a wig all day, say I'm going out, seeing my kids doing something or whatever, I would use It Stays at this point and not even wear any kind of a band here. But that's not the case. So this is the band that I choose. The sad thing you want to know is that I always link this down below because this is the band that made me able to wear them at all. I am a really, it's called an HSP, a highly sensitive person. And that goes for textiles or having things, tags, and I mean, there's a much broader sort of explanation or other things that go along with being an HSP. But when it comes to wig wearing, it can be very challenging because I feel everything. The least amount I have under my wig, the better. And this is so thin and it tapers, so I don't really feel it much behind my ear, and it completely tapers back here. You do have to replace them a little sooner than the others because this material is quite a bit thinner. And so that stretch kind of goes away, but it's not even that so much as eventually, it doesn't work as well with the nap of the microfiber. Now, when I say you have to replace them more often, it's not like once a month, it's like maybe once every 6 months. Whereas the other ones, a lot of them I still have, but then again, I stopped wearing them because they just drove me nuts. The bulk, behind the ear and then the bulk back here. Oh, it was awful. Well, what I'm getting at is that I don't think they make these anymore. Somebody let me know, hey, Jill, I tried the link. It's not working. That happens because sometimes they change the page or whatever that it's posted on. So I went to correct it, and lo and behold, I could not find it anywhere. I hope it's a matter of distribution maybe, and I'll see it. I'm going to keep looking. But as for now, I don't think you can buy them anymore. And I need to replace. I have 3 of these, but I can always tell when it's time to replace them. So, I know. I can't believe it. Why? It's always happened to things that I really love. And that goes for like makeup and all that stuff too. It's like somebody will let me know once again, Jill, this isn't working. It's like, gosh, dang it. Anyway, okay. All right, so let's get this on. I think I'm gonna just kind of run this through real quick like. I don't always do this, but I'm gonna do that. Okay, let's try this. First thing I always do is take it away from the back of my ear because all wigs want to settle right in the back of my ear, and it's very uncomfortable. Maybe not at first, but at some point it's going to be. So now I want to make sure that it's straight. And again, I'm going to lift it up off the back of my ear. Same with my, wow, this is nice. Okay, I have a funny feeling it's going to want to, okay. So here's that. I'm going to raise all right. This is the part, it goes from here to here. So like I said, I really feel like for a monofilament part, it's generous. And it goes all the way back to here. So let me and I also want to take a look at the quality, hold on, of this monofilament because sometimes Belle Tress goes a little too dense with the fibers and I can't really even see the monofilament. I want to say it's definitely much better than what I have seen before, and they really do lace fronts extremely really good. So I'm always happy with the lace front from a Belle Tress wig. Let's take a look at that actually. Now I'm getting excellent coverage from this style, and I really think it's because I've noticed I didn't put 2 and 2 together for a while, but I have lost over 60 pounds, and that does affect, your head as well. And I completely didn't add that into the equation. So lately, I have noticed that I am getting such great coverage because for some reason, maybe that's because I do think, unless, you know, these are being manufactured differently, that some of my measurements have changed a bit. So I always take out, you know, like down here. Before I would have to take some all the way down, and you know, out of habit I still do that, but I'm getting such great coverage that you don't really even see any of my hair right there anymore. So but I always like to do that. And I'm taking a look at the color of this root just to see if I should wear some fill-in powder right through here. You know, I probably could, but what I am seeing is a little bit of ashiness, especially going all the way down here to the actual cap. And that is making it to where I might get away with not doing that. But this does have a root, and, you know, it would probably behoove me, and I would get an even more natural look if I did put a little bit of brown, kind of darker brown fill-in powder down there. But I don't think I'm going to mess with it. All right, but take a look at this. Take a look at though of this lace front. At this lace front, it's truly amazing. Really quite stunning, actually. And this lace goes all the way down. To here. So this is a temple to temple lace front. It gets quite small, but still, look, you know, you're still seeing that look of it growing right out of the side right there. So beautiful. All right, before I really get into anything, I want to give you guys a spin so you can see what this looks like all the way around. So this is right out of the box. This is great because lately I have not been in the mood to mess with my wigs, and that's not like me. That's the highlight of being a wig wearer to me. But lately, I don't know. That's just haven't been wanting to do it. Give me some hairspray and send me on my way is what's been going on with me lately, and that's exactly what this wig has given to me. I'm loving the shape of this. Absolutely think they nailed it when it comes. This is gorgeous. Wow. What do you think about this color? I'm looking at the viewfinder and it's coming up, I think, a little more almost yellow than what's going on in real life. I'll see. Oh God, it's so dark, but you know, natural light, no matter if it's dark or not, is always the way to go. So I'll see if I can go outside and take some footage just to give you a better look, because what I'm seeing here is not what I'm seeing, you know, like in real life. It is warmer. Let me go ahead and get a Milkshake Blonde R. Here is Milkshake Blonde R. So this has platinum. This is very ashy, very cool, bright, but just so you can kind of see what I'm seeing here. It's hard, huh, to see. So I'm seeing some honey. I'm seeing more of this sort of neutral blonde. It's not super warm because actually, you know, I'm seeing a little bit more ashiness going on underneath here. But you know, I'm going to be real upfront. But really, I do better with a little bit of warmth against my skin. Not everybody is like that. It depends if you really are a true cool. I'm more neutral, and I do have a bit of a yellowish undertone, even though I'm quite fair. So if I do my makeup accordingly, I can get away with wearing sort of more of the brighter ashy blondes, but I do have to make up for it with my makeup. Otherwise, I'll look really super washed out. But this is gorgeous. Okay, so I haven't even run anything through this yet, other than what I initially did when before I even put it on. This is beautiful. I just kind of want to take a look at the shape of this. It lets me know how it wants to be and what the intentions were with the stylist that really even made this style happen. I always like to try that first and just kind of get a feel as to what this is doing. It allows me also to get it up and off the cap. This is pretty, but it's driving me crazy, so we're going to take this off. So let's see. We have a wispy, very wispy sort of bang going on here. If you really wanted to solidly give yourself an actual bang, you certainly could. Less is more. I always want to say less is more, guys, and always trim it longer than you think. But you could just tip in just a little bit more if that's your thing. I'm even though I have quite a tall forehead, I am not a full bang gal. So having these longer lengths here, I actually like. So I very seldom will mess with that. Doesn't Belle Tress do this the wispy ends thing? They really just do that so well. I feel like they are just the queen of doing these kind of styles. I don't think any other brand does it as well as Belle Tress does. This has this really great sort of, in a good way, sort of heaviness going on through here. And then as we get to the front and you know, about this way far down, those ends really start wisping out. We have the layers here. What does that do in a wig? It really gives us movement. It helps to give us this realistic sort of look going on down here as well. And just an amazing shape is what it does. The other thing is it's so soft around the face. So this one is perfect for those of us 40 and up, 50 and up, 60 and up, 60. And to get away with wearing medium to longer length styles without it just really drawing me down and almost making me look older is the softness around the front. The softness all the way, you know, even through the neck and all of that. And so this is going to be beautiful on any age. I really do think. I love this color. I think it's a nice one for sort of my skin tone. I do think it gives me just the right amount of warmth. And I'm in love with this. I really love this. Something else I want to mention, and I've mentioned this before, and I wasn't sure if you guys were going to get it, but so many of you said, oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. And that is that sometimes wigs have this thing where in the nape, the fibers are sewn in such a way that they kind of go up and then down, which to me is a little bit of a red flag kind of thing when it comes to other people looking at your hair. It's like they can't put their finger on it because they're not wig wearers, so they don't look for anything. Just let me preface that by saying that, because you don't have to worry about going out and going, oh my God, everyone's gonna know I have a wig on. No, they're, 99.9% of people out there don't go scrutinizing to see if everybody's wearing a wig. So that's just not happening. But there are little things that can happen just to, they don't even realize themselves, but there's something a little off here. And to me, that thing is one of those things. But what I am noticing is that these fibers are sewn in really sort of like straight down, almost probably at a 45, I'm thinking, to get this to happen. And so I'm not feeling that. I'm not seeing that happen. And you know what that does? That just makes me not worry about the style that I'm wearing that day. It doesn't make me forget I'm wearing a wig, because I know I'm wearing a wig. But what it does do is it just gives me a lot of confidence. And it's one more thing that I just really don't have to have going on in the back of my head, you know, when I'm wearing my wig. But I love that. But what I don't love about certain styles is if I can feel it here, like if I can feel it on my neck. I think this has a lot to do with me being an HSP as well, but it drives me nuts and I cannot wait to get it off when I get home. So what I'm feeling with this style is that it's like a big barrel curl was made, you know? And so I'm not feeling it. It's going this way. I'm not feeling it through here. And I'm just mentioning that for those of you that are like me, because otherwise it means nothing. I am loving this. I am loving that. Really like that a lot. Gosh. Unfortunately, there's just not a lot that I have to really cover on this one. I just think it's gorgeous. It is. Gosh. And you know, I gotta have my root, and this is so soft. Don't be afraid of the root in this, because this is so softly done. It's not a, you know, like a in your face root kind of thing. It's very soft. It gives us shadowing really more than anything. And that is really important to me, having any sort of shadowing or root thing go on with my helper hair, because again, it's all about realism. In real life, would you want to have a big root or whatever? Probably not. But with helper hair, when it's done nice like this, it is a plus. And I don't even care, you know, with a brunette, I still have to have shadowing there. So yeah. So here is a couple of products that I use. This is Brandywine. This is called Wig Spray. It is an aerosol. It's very light. Not going to get super hold with either of these. And you don't really want that to happen with a helper hair, because what it will do is it'll weigh down your fibers and give you helmet head real quickly. So yeah, no permatease. I am feeling zero permatease in this. However, because they really nailed the denier of these fibers and really wisped out these ends, I'm able to get, you know, some body. So the other thing that I have here is more of a super light dry shampoo. This gives you lift. It changes the texture a little bit, but not like a full-on dry shampoo that's very powdery. You can use those as well, but just know that that texture, which I actually do like, is definitely going to get gritty, but it also makes your hairsprays work so well. But with this style, I love what it's doing just by itself. So honestly, I think I would just go ahead and do some of this, if anything, honestly, because when do I ever say that, first of all? And hardly ever. So, you know, I would probably just go in with a little bit of this. Oh gosh, I'm going to get away from my equipment though first. I'm going to get away from my equipment a little here. Honestly, that's about all I would do with this. Just to keep the flyaways a little under control. With a cut like this, with it shaped like this though, what's really nice is I'm not getting anything going in my face. That drives me insane, and it drives all of us helper hair wearers insane, are the flyaways. Can happen with any style, but I do love when there's layering and wispiness going on here around the face, because I am not feeling it. I'm not seeing any of it happen. And again, what that does is it has me able to just check out, go on with my day, and not worry about my hair. And sometimes it's hard to do that when you wear helper hair. It really is, because one thing or another is going on and you know it. And so you kind of have it going on in the back of your head the whole time. I get it. I totally get it. All right, you know, that's this one. I mean, I wish in a way that I had more to deal with getting this first out of the box and putting it on my head for the first time, but boy, if there wasn't a better telltale sign of how this is a true get out of the box and put on your head and go out the door, I don't know what is, because this one is so pretty. It's so cute. Wow. This one is just so well done. Just the tiniest bit of styling, you know, that happened here. And you know, the cool thing about synthetic wigs, you guys, is that they have memory. So when I wash this and it dries on its rack and I'm ready to wear it again, it's going to look like this. That is the beauty of synthetic wigs and fibers, is that. Now this is, which I forgot to mention earlier, is a heat-friendly fiber. You can put heat to this if you want to curl it up a little more. To me, this is perfection and not really anything I want to do with it. But say you want that variety in style, heat-friendly fibers, you are able to do that. They act a little differently, and you know, I probably should do a little refresher video for you guys that are brand new, that you can't just do it how you're used to, but it is a heat-friendly fiber and you can change that up. Okay, you guys, this is going to be one I'm going to be wearing a lot. I have been wearing out Tribeca, Broadway, and now I'm going to be adding this one. Hasn't Belle Tress been hitting it out of the park, you guys? I mean, for a while now, they really have. I love that they're constantly coming out with new styles. They're doing it like none other brand when it comes to that. And I just feel like they keep getting better and better and better at knowing how to create realistic styles for us. So thank you, Belle Tress. You are really killing it. And I can't wait to see what else I can try by them. And share it with you. So again, guys, this is Chicago by Belle Tress in, again, this is new to me, in Raw Sugar Blonde R. It is gorgeous. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. I always hope you find these helpful. Let me know what you think down in the description area. I would love to know. And say hi. You guys, you always have to say hi. Otherwise, I don't know who's out there. All right, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Just realized I just did the whole thing with my phone the wrong way. I'm sorry. I'm in the house, standing in front of a window, but I really just want to say this is such a comfortable cap. It is really a comfortable cap. Can't say that about all of them, but I was just noticing that, and I had to let you know. This may be a new favorite. It may be a new favorite. I love this. I'm going to be wearing this all day.